sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tapo.
The President of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon.
Can we have the remarks of Governor Faustino D. the third?
Salamat po. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, members of the Cabinet, Congressman Rudito Albano, former Senator Ejerson Alvarez, members of the Military Corps, governors and other local chief executives, regional directors, and other guests, visitors, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Welcome back. Ito po yung pangatlong pagkakataon, Mr. President, na bumisita po kayo sa aming lalawigan ng Isabela. Sana po idadalangin ko na sa mga susunod na pagbisita nyo ay hindi po tungkol sa briefing tungkol po sa calamity. Salamat po sa inyo pong pag-aalala at pagmamalasakit. Before I end my welcome remark, Mr. President, allow me to express our deepest gratitude. Nais ko rin pong ipabot sa buong panahon ho ng bagyo. Sa 3 araw po naming pakikilaban sa bagyo, hindi po kami iniwan ng ating po mga partners. Katulad po ng Philippine Army, sa pamumuno po ni General Rimando at ni General Bacaro. 306 pong contingent ang kanila pong sinuporta. Marami pong salamat. Gandun din po ang pinadala po ni General Espino na 160 na police para alalayan po ang aming lalawigan ng Isabela. And of course, the newly appointed Secretary po ng DSWD, si Secretary Bautista, 2 gabi po namin siyang kasama kapiling para tiyakin na magandang operation ng ating pong DSWD. Ang ating pong 88 na Search and Rescue Unit ng Bureau of Fire, 32 po ang mga kaibigan natin galing sa Department of Public Works and Highways. At 370 volunteers, kasama pa po rito ang ating provincial government, na kami po yung nagsama-sama para maging mabilis ang aming pong pagresolba o pagsang-ayon o di kaya pagtulong sa mga nangangailangan po. At in 6 hours po, pagkatapos po ng bagyo ay na-cleared po namin ang aming pong kalsada galing po ng Nueva Vizcaya patungo po ng lalawigan ng Cagayan. Yan po ang aming pong report. At sa 34 municipalities and 2 cities and 1 independent city, 34 municipalities po, 30 out of the 34 municipalities, 2 mayor po ang absent. Ang 2 city mayors, nandyan pati po ang aming pong city ng Santiago ay present po. Papasalamat din po kami sa local government unit, ang lahat po ng MLGO, ang ating pong mga municipal social welfare officer, ang ating pong mga chief of police ay present po at nandun po sila sa kanilang mga area of responsibility. Muli, welcome back po at magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Now, we have the updates of the typhoon-affected areas in CAR. This will be given to us by Major General Ruben Carangdang, Regional Director, Office of the Civil Defense. Sir, if you're around, you may start.
To our Commander-in-Chief and President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, sir, Governor of Isabela, Governor sir, and Governor of Mountain Province, Governor Lakwasan, sir, the Governor Puwa, sir, and the different cabinet secretaries who are with the President, our comrades in arms in the military and the Philippine National Police, the different regional directors, the different agencies. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm going to brief the President of the preparedness, measures and response activities of the Cordillera Regional Disaster Residential Management Council and the effects of Typhoon Rosita. Next slide. Next slide, please. Sir, as shown in the chart, is the route of taken by the Storm Rosita that made landfall in the Big Isabela last October 30 at 4 a.m. Next slide, please. And shown in the chart are the different activities that we have undertaken in the preparations for the landfall of Rosita, starting October 26. When the Council conducted the pre-disaster risk assessment meeting, and also on the same day from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. we also attended the meeting at the Department of National Defense with the CDA Undersecretary Halad. And on the following day from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. we also sent a letter to the regional director of the ALG requesting for the assistance on the advisory for the different local government units for the conduct of preemptive evacuation and forced evacuation, if necessary, based on the list that were given to us by MJB on the classified high landslide areas and very high flood prone areas in the region. Next slide, please. And on the following day, we conducted a second BTC meeting with the Civil Defense Administrator under Secretary Halad. And from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., we have updated our red alert status from blue to red after our meeting here at the office of the Cordillera Regional Council in Baguio City. And on 10 p.m. Sunday, we sent also the letters to the different governors of the Cordillera regarding reminding them on the conduct of preemptive and forced evacuation based on the areas that were provided by the MGB as very high landslide areas and very high flood-prone areas. Next slide, please. And on Monday, sir, we conducted our final check on our preparations and readiness for the for the landfall of the storm Rosita. And I also personally surveyed those areas that we have identified that have large number of casualties during the past storm Ompong in Bengue and Tuba, Itogon, and La Trinidad. And also on that Monday, I deployed six of my personnel to the different provinces to assist the different provincial disaster and risk reduction management offices in the preparation for the landfall of Rosita. They consolidated, integrated, and supervised the conduct of disaster preparedness, and especially on the preemptive and forced evacuation. Next slide, please. And also on that day, Monday, sir, the search and rescue personnel headed by Brigadier General Imbang also reported to our emergency operations center. And also on 3 p.m. of Monday, we have established our communication lines to the 6 provinces. And on Tuesday, 4 a.m., the Typhoon Rosita made the landfall in Dinapigi, Isabela. Next slide, please. So this is the chart summarizing the prevailing weather from October 28 to November 1, as shown in the different provinces. And we monitored the different incidents that happen in the region. And it is shown in that chart, sir, that the province of Apayao reported no casualty as of yesterday. Next slide, please. Reported 21, and the power also in the region is also there are so many reports on power interruption, and we are also monitoring the dam in our area, the Amboklaw Dam, and also the Minga Dam. As of yesterday, sir, the Amboklaw Dam has 749.39 meters, and Minga Dam 553.64 meters. Next. On the affected population of the region, we have a total of 7,507 families, or 30,666 persons were affected in 224 barangays, 53 cities, municipalities, and 6 provinces of the Cordillera Administrative Region. As shown, sir, in that chart, Benguet has the number of affected barangays. Next slide, please. And on the displaced and served families, a total of 2,011 families, or 6,300 are staying inside the 415 evacuation centers. 618 families. There are 2,629 families, or 8,900. evacuation centers with 1,084 families inside the evacuation centers and 265 families outside the evacuation centers, or a total of 1,349 families displaced and 3,729 persons displaced in Benguet, being the province with the highest number of displaced families. Next slide, please. On the damaged houses here in the region, we have a total of 79 houses damaged and distributed. In Benguet, we have 5. In Kalinga, 7. In Mountain Province, 67 houses. Next slide, please. On the stockpile and standby funds, as reported by the DSWD, drawback report number 10, dated November 1, as of 0400, November 1. We have standby funds amounting to 50,187,541 pesos. And on stockpiles, we have 32,360 family food packs. And in the warehouse of Pugis, DSWD, La Trinidad, Benguet, amounting to 11,668,431.35, and food and non-food items amounting to 34,083,358.78. On the standby funds, we have an amount of 4,435,750.95 available for use for disaster response. Next slide, please. On the cost of assistance provided by DSWD, a total of 691,565.70 was given to individuals affected by Typhoon Rosita. The amount of 460,280.50 came from DSWD, while 250,865.20 from LGU, 5,290 from NGOs, and 3,900 from other sources, as shown. Next, please. On the food and non-food items, the DSWD Field Office Cordillera has noted the following goods from DSWD, which is currently in transit to the following destinations: in La Trinidad, Kalinga, Abra, and the others are already received share as of the report of the DSWD. Next slide, please. On the damaged schools in the region, as reported by the Department of Education, we have 4 schools damaged for flooding, 7 schools damaged due to landslide, 8 schools damaged due to the own building structure, and access to schools, we have 1 damage, for a total of 20 damages to the different schools of Cordillera. Next slide, please. On the casualties, we shown in that slide, sir, Kalinga has 1 dead, Mountain Province 6, Ifugao 6, a total of 13, and on the injured, we have in Ifugao 4, Benguet 1, Kalinga 3, Mountain Province 4, total of 12, and 26 persons missing, 1 from Abra, 1 from Ifugao, and 24 in Mountain Province. Next slide, please. And the casualties are shown in Kalinga. We have a casualty caused by landslide in Barangay Mabilong, Lubuangad. Dead 1, injured 3. In Ifugao, we have 6 dead, 4 injured, and 1 missing. Next slide, please. In the Mountain Province, as reported, we have 6 dead, injured 4, 24 missing. Next slide. And in Benguet, we have only 1 injured. And in Abra, we have 1 missing. Next slide, please. And I would like to show, sir, to the President, this is the picture of the DPWH Mountain Province 2nd District building. This is the artist perspective view. Next slide. During construction of that DPWH Mountain Province building, and after the onslaught of Typhoon Rosita that caused so many casualties and so many missing persons until this date. So that's all, sir, for my presentation, and thank you very much, sir.
The third would be Secretary Villar, who will give us a report of the areas of landslide and the initial damages in the car area. Now,
Wala. Hello.
do you know why?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Good afternoon po, Mr. President. I'd like to report on the updates of the status of national roads and bridges. Meron po kaming slide.
Excuse me. Can you connect this screen with to synchronize with the main? Malayo na yun para sa mga mata namin.
Hello. Slideshow, please.
Nandyan? Okay. Go ahead. Secretary, go ahead.
Hintayin ko lang po yung slideshow. Anyway, yan. Okay. So as of today, I'd like to show the number of roads that are closed to traffic. At the car region, we started with 30, and we've cleared 12 of the roads. At this point, we have 18 roads that remain to be cleared in the Cordillera. Sa Region 2 po, we have 10 number of roads that were closed. At this point, we are able to clear 3, so 7 are still remain closed, for a total of 25 roads that are closed at this moment. In car, we can see the 18 road sections. Next slide, please. Next slide. Ito po yung mga road sections sa car na closed. In about 2 major roads leading to Baguio City, 1 in Apayao, 2nd District, Benguet, 1 in Benguet, 2nd District, 2 in Ifugao, 3 in Ifugao 2nd, 1 in Lower Kalinga, 5 in Upper Kalinga, and 1 in Mountain Province 1st, and 1 in Mountain Province 2nd. This is road lead due to damaged bridges, scoured detour, bridge approach, road slip, rockfall, road cut. Marami pong landslide po sa car region. Kaya marami pong road closures. We have some pictures. May idea po kayo sa scale po ng mga landslides. Ito po sa Talubin Barlig ng Tonin Paracelis Road. Kita nyo po, napaka-significant po yung volume ng area. In Region 2, there are 7 road sections that are closed due to high water elevation, scoured bridge abutments, and washed out detour roads. Isa po sa Cagayan first, isa po sa Nueva Vizcaya first, isa po sa Nueva Vizcaya second, isa po sa Isabela first, isa po sa Isabela second, and 2 po sa Quirino. So ito po yung mga locations. Ang significant damage po dito sa Isabela is yung Sifu Bridge. Itong bridge is mahaba po itong bridge at 20 spans, 6 spans po na wipe out dahil sa volume ng tubig. And ang cost po, this bridge is, matagal na po itong bridge na to, 1971 po kinonstruct. So ang gagawin po namin, gagawa na lang ng bago na mas matibay. So this will cost us 90 million, itong Sifu Bridge. Okay. 700. Ito po yung total cost of damage to date. Very partial list. Next slide. For Region 2, 793 million pesos. For CAR, 239 million pesos for a total of 1 billion 32 pesos. Next slide. Ito po yung district, unfortunately, ito po yung district engineering office that was wiped out by the landslide. At this point, we have 6 confirmed casualties, 4 rescued, and 21 still missing. Nakapag-deploy na po kami ng 150 DPWH personnel sa site. Unfortunately, hindi pa siya accessible sa heavy equipment. Kaya hirap din po kami sa recovery efforts. Nandun po ako kahapon sa site at meron pa kaming as much as 34 landslides na kailangan pa i-clear going to the area. Yung galing po sa papuntang Natonin from Paraceli, 2.5 kilometers na lang at 9 slides na lang ang kailangan i-clear bago makarating sa site. Sa kabila naman, sabay po yung dalawang teams namin, 47 kilometers away pa sila, and they still have to clear a total of 25 landslides before they arrive at the ground zero of the event. So napaka-challenging po dahil napakakapal ng putik at mahirap, hindi talaga yung medyo mabagal ang clearing despite our best efforts. So we can only reach there on foot. And we are unable to bring all our heavy equipments to the area as of now. So, mano-mano po yung rescue efforts. So, hopefully, we still have 21 missing, and hopefully, hopefully not that many casualties. So, ito po yung mga pictures ng site. And we conducted an aerial inspection earlier today. And I've gone on 2 aerial inspections for the site to review. Unfortunately, di kami nakapag-landing dahil wala pong magandang landing site. So here are the pictures of the site of the District Engineering Office. So these are just pictures, Mr. President, and this will end my presentation.
We'll hear him now. Para complete.
So that ends my presentation, Mr. President.
Nandito ka ba? Doon, ang bagyo? Nandito ka nung bagyo? I think we missed out on something. Sir, are you tapos ka na? Are you through with your tapos dito may nagkulang dito eh. I'm sorry but there's another guy supposed to
Car po yun natapos ngayon. Ang Region 2.
itong si General Dante Balao. You still have to make your report. I'm sorry I missed you there. Tapos ka na. Go ahead, sir. Baka si Major Karandang kasi, napunta ka na ba sa cemetery? You seem to be hounded by the souls of your relatives. And keep on. Ako, sir, hindi pa, sir. Pupunta pa ako doon ngayon. Right here.
Test. Magandang gabi, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Members of the Cabinet, magandang hapon pala.
Gabi na.
So, I will be briefing the President on what we did before and immediately after the onslaught of Typhoon Rosita. Next slide, please. Next slide. So as mentioned earlier, sir, the Rosita made landfall at Dinampige and passed through the southern municipalities and areas of Isabela before making an exit at about 3:30 p.m. from out of Region 2. Next. So we were in continuous monitoring and we established linkages with the LGUs being the cutting edge of our disaster management. Next slide. As early as October 25, the region has already declared red alert to the province of Batanes because of its initial track of going northeast and northwest. But after one day when we called for a pre-disaster risk assessment, because of the prevalence now of Amihan, it went a westerly direction, direct west. So therefore, I have to declare red alert to the remaining 4 provinces of Region 2 in mainland Luzon. Next. In addition, we have already alerted the LGUs of preemptive evacuation and the activation of the Cauayan Valley Response Team and activation of the response cluster that is headed by the Department of Social Welfare and Development. The last Memo 54 is the organization now of the Ardena teams ready to move and supported by the Rapid Emergency Telecommunications Team. Next slide. On the second PIDRA meeting, we already transitioned. A day before the arrival of Rosita, we already transitioned from PIDRA into a solid plan of emergency response plan. And therefore, with the Memo 55 issued on 29 October, we already organized the Regional Incident Management Team ready for prepositioning. Dahil malapit na po ang undas at alam kong wala nang oras para magplano, idinamay na rin po namin ang undas sa meeting na yon. Next slide. So, Memo 57, nag-meet na ang, I have directed for the cluster lead to meet for the response. And Memo 58, we have already planned for the deployment of the Ardena teams. Memo 59, I reissued an alert for possible flooding and landslide because of the rains brought by Typhoon Rosita. And Memo 60, those already at the evacuation center should not return to their homes because of the risk of floodings. Next slide. So a total, sir, is we have 24,883 individuals or 7,372 families of the provinces, 4 provinces in mainland Luzon. Next slide. Of course, I have secured the HF-VHF radio before the arrival of typhoon. Binaba namin and advised all stations, especially the island municipality of Cauayan, island barangay of Dalupiri, Camiguin, Babuyan Claro, island province of Batanes, and Itbayat, island municipality of Itbayat. Next slide. I have also organized and remain on-call status members of the uniformed troops and the local response units. Actually, this afternoon, as I speak now today, Mr. President, sir, the Oceana Gold Response Team is already in Natonin by direction of the CDA to assist Cordillera region in the clearing of the debris. So also by direction of the CDA, we have brought instruments, tools like spades, pick mattocks para hawakan ng local responders doon, mapabilis po ang paghuhukay doon sa debris. Next slide. So now, we have now the actual deployment of our Ardena. They are now in Quirino, in southern Isabela, in Vizcaya. And bukas, pupunta sila sa coastal municipality of Dinapigue, where kung saan po naglandfall. Next slide. So a total of served by DSWD, we have a total of 75,554 families, cumulative yan. Pero yung iba umuwi na sa evacuation centers. So currently, DSWD is now catering to 52,000 persons, equating to 13,000 families. Next slide. Merong nag-iisang casualty po sa Region 2 sa province ng Quirino and nag-iisang missing. So yan lang po ang may report namin na casualty. Yesterday in the papers, may casualty na sinabi sa Isabela, but that is not typhoon related po. Alam ni Governor D po yan because on the night of October 30, nagkaroon ho ng flash flood sa Roas Isabela. The Governor was supervising the rescue operations. Nagpadala po ang region ng Coast Guard elements and elements from the Philippine Army to augment the forces of Governor D. And immediately thereafter, nang gabi rin ng October 30, winardingan ko na yung Cauayan province, particularly the city of Tuguegarao, to evacuate, and the downstream municipalities of Abulog, Lasam, Amulong, Gataran, Alakapan. Kasi po, yung tubig na galing sa Isabela, sigurado ako na doon dadaan. So that night, sir, we conducted preemptive evacuation sa mga downstream municipalities of Cauayan, including the city of Tuguegarao. Next slide, please. Ito, sir, ang gusto kong ipaliwanag because every time may pagbaha, people are always pointing fingers at Magat Dam. Ang nangyari po sa Rojas, ang tubig na galing na sanhi ng baha, galing sa Sifu River, Magat Dam has nothing to do about it. Kasi ang tubig na galing sa Sifu River, sa Magat Dam, ay hindi dadaan sa Sifu River. Babagsak po sa Cauayan River Basin because Sifu is located farther south. Magat Dam is located farther north. The capacity of Cauayan River, sir, the basin, sir, is 27,648 square kilometers. Ang capacity ng Magat Dam, sir, is 1.6 billion cubic meters. Hindi ako engineer, sir, pero gumawa ako ng calculation dyan, katulong ang Pag-asa. Sa 25 millimeter of rain na ipatak doon sa 27,648 square kilometers, sir, ang total amount ng tubig na pupunta doon sa 27,000 square kilometers is only 719 million cubic meters. Vis-a-vis sa capacity ng Cauayan River Basin sa catchment area niya of 6.1 billion cubic meters, that is only 11% of it. So therefore, conclusion, yung tubig na dumaan sa Sifu River, sir, is galing sa slopes ng Mountain Province, Ifugao, Vizcaya. Kaya yun ang onrush. Yun ang rush ng tubig. And besides, Magat Dam, we can control the release of water. Kasi may gates yan. Ang slopes ng Cordillera, ang slopes ng Sierra Madre, ang slopes ng Caraballo, sir, wala tayong control. That is why, kahit na nasa downstream na yung mga bayan ng Abulog, Alakapan, Lasam, pag umulan sa Apayao side, sir, the eastern slopes of Apayao side, pagka bumaba yung tubig, wala tayong control because walang gate doon. That's why binabaha, sir. Plus, yung tubig na galing sa Cauayan River, main Cauayan River, doon binabaha, sir. So, yun po ang gusto ko i-correct sa mga taga-Region 2. Let us not easily point fingers sa Magat Dam because napakaliit ang containment, ang kayang contain ng Magat Dam. It is at least six times as huge as the Cauayan River Basin. So yung lang po, Mr. President, in-explain ko lang. That will be all for Region 2.
Somebody would like to comment? Well, from the looks of it, sa taas kami, the damage was really very extensive. Lalo na sa road network. And there's a lot to do there. Plus the missing persons, which is worrying us now. How many are still inside that DPWH? And those houses that were swept away that never caught our attention. So that's one. I am satisfied with the response of government. Everybody is here. And I think that everyone is doing his duty. I'd like to thank you for that. Verily, the rule in crisis management or whatever calamity or whatever, the number one rule is you have to return to normalcy as soon as possible. So I'm sure that Secretary Villar has the ready response for that. You are beginning to do your work there, especially those who are trapped. So a lot of motor vehicles there. Probably they cannot move in or move out. They are isolated there. That's a major problem also. And about the people, I hope that they can just traverse it towards the area where there was this proper the municipal town, or they can seek refuge in the meantime. The mitigating measures that were taken by all is impressive, and I'd like to thank you. So I did not waste my time coming here, except for Major Karandang, General Karandang. You better go to the cemetery. You seem to be hounded by a ghost there. Your mic does not work well. Somebody is egging you to go home early. So,
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Dagdag lang, Mr. President. We have a report here that there are 873 fisher folks affected in Isabela. And there are 35 fish cages damaged, Mr. President. Malaking bagay po ito. In Gamu, Mr. President, there is one casualty. No less than the son of my driver drowned yesterday, Mr. President, as a result of Typhoon Rosita.
Yesterday.
The extent of the damage in Santiago is still being assessed by the mayor, Mr. President, because there are a lot of business establishments that were destroyed because of the strong winds and water rain from Typhoon Rosita, and we are still assessing the effect on the employment of our workers in Santiago City, including Ichaque, and also the city of Governor Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Cauayan City. Marami pa rin mga mawawalan ng trabaho, kaya pinagandaan din namin kung paano ma-address yung mga displaced workers.
But first of all, to repair immediately the fish cottage, traps there or something, should be the worry of Secretary Piñol. Sa agriculture yan eh. But you might want to, in the meantime, find something productive for them so that they can be extended the usual, not the dole out, but the money to keep them going until such time that they can stand on their own.
We will do that, Mr. President. In fact, I was just talking to Governor na bibigyan namin siya ng emergency employment doon sa mga nag-display sa kanyang lugar.
By the Labor Department?
Opo, from the Labor Department.
You have projects here?
Meron po tayo, Mr. President.
Okay. So the last thing would really be, yes, sir. Is that map distribute? Boy, naibigay na ba ngayon yan o noon pa? Okay. I hope everybody would be supplied with that map. It becomes a critical instrument during itong climate. You know, it's not about the actual event only. It's the social cost after. The rehabilitation would need money, and the displaced families would have to be resettled, something like that. It does not end after the mitigating circumstances would be solved, but also the concomitant consequences of these lives. Ang eskwelahan, Secretary Brunes is not here, so I will just take note of that and remind him. I think we have a cabinet meeting tomorrow or the day after.
Monday, sir,
Monday.
Monday.
So six. So okay man siguro. I think that we have reached the standard of response needed for this particular incident. I said the most important thing really is to return normalcy. And that would mean really the clearing of the roads and yung really mga tao doon. They are fed and they are given shelters outside of the line of fire, yung nandoon ngayon. Do you have your men there working? May mga tao ka doon? May mga pagkain na dala? So,
May add po.
yes, sir.
Gusto ko pong, una po sa lahat, thank you po sa... Thank you very much at nagkaroon ako ng oportunidad na nakasama kita sa aerial view kanina, sir. Gusto ko pong ipaalam na yung nakikita nating hanay ng mga sasakyan na nakabuntot sa backhoe. Yun po ay mga sasakyan ng mga gustong tumulong sa ground zero. Na may dala ang iba, may dalang foods items, mga logistic na gustong itulong, kaya lang hindi sila makalapit. Kaya ang hiling po, kung pwede, yung mag-airlift na lang sa munisipyo ng natunin ng mga food items o mga kailangan po. Kasi talagang hindi makapunta yung sasakyan doon.
Is there a place where the helicopters can land?
Mayroon po, accordingly.
Okay. We will actually talk here to provide the mobility.
Thank you po. Thank you.
The most important thing really is that right now it's too big. Pagka yung mga ganun too big pati pagkain. Yung pagkain, sometimes I have this something like observation. Wag ninyong bigyan ng yung kaldero, pati planggana, kasi wala yan silang malutuan, and they have to gather the firewoods and everything. Ang the first dalhin talaga ninyo is the pure protein and mga pan, ganun. Yung sardinas, kasi inumin lang yan. Ang iba kasi ang bigyan ng bigas, tapos magbigay ng cooking pots and the plangganas and all. They are of no use to those persons at this point. They are bewildered, disoriented, and probably the first thing really is for the health services guys to go there to treat the wounded, or if we are seriously suffering from injuries, that they should be right away be brought to the place where the choppers can land, and yung mga helicopters na magdala ng tulong doon for those that would needed medical attention, they can be retrieved there and brought here in the municipality or in the city. Ganon. You have the services of the Air Force would only be too happy to help. Rod, anong tingin mo? Masyadong serious ka dyan. You are serious. You seem to be in deep thought.
Mr. President, thank you. Yeah, wala kasi ang asawa ko rito, nagbakasyon. So kaya medyo seryoso ako ngayon. At napagod kami, boss, ni Governor D kahapon dahil tinignan namin yung Sifu Bridge at nagpunta kami nung gabi. Ang tama yung sabi nila, yung tubig, Mr. President, nanggagaling na ng bundok. At hindi nanggagaling doon sa dam yung tubig na nagwasak doon sa mga nagkaroon ng debris sa bundok. Hindi na kumapit yung mga topsoil, Mr. President. Kaya malaking damage sa mga bridges na nangyari dito sa Isabela. Ganon din siguro nangyari doon sa Ifugao. Tama o si General Balao?
Well, kung kay Verily naman, if we have the immediate foodstuffs. Yun na lang. Ang plus, do you have the butane, yung sinisindihan? Yung ano lang, maliliit yan. That's the one thing that the source of quarrel between Osmeña and the rest of the guys there in Cebu. Some are not, but I've heard incidents of accidents. Pero if we can acquire from a source that's a guaranteed quality, then magkuha ka niyan kasi yan ang pinakamabilis, sindihan lang kung magluto man sila. But if not, then you have to bring in large amounts of carbohydrates and protein. And tubig, yan talaga ang the immediate in my years of government, ganun talaga. Tubig, tapos pagkain, that's not. Hindi na kailangan lutuin. Diretso na lang kainin. Sardines and canned mga baka or pork. Diretso na. A good substitute would really be ng pan. Yan ang experience ko. So, I'm leaving. You are leaving also, everybody. So I have to attend I have to go to the tomb of my mother and father. May ano pa ako. So, if there is no further discussion on this, I'd like to comment. This is not a brief for the military and the police. You know, ang utility boy natin sa ating civilization ngayon dito is the military and the police. Sila yung, well, ako sa Ciudad ng Davao, I have a disaster office. But then I can only employ so much. They cannot be really in thousands. Maybe 200, 300. But the problem is, ito yung mga, alam mo na, politiko man tayong lahat dito. At least yung nakapasok dyan, political patronage, ganon, kung sinong lang malakas. But in actual crisis situations, and aplenty sa Mindanao, whether it's putok ng several times in Davao City, flood, fire, everything. Itong mga disaster natin, hindi kagad maka-respond dyan because they report on the same, well, at least if you have an organized na palit-palit, pero yung mag-report lang sa opisina for in 8 hours work, pag-uwi niyan, mahirap i-contact yan. You have to create something like a bumbero na may shifting so that, but then again, if there is, they will be hard put to assemble. That's why, ang sinasabi ko, you have to say a word or two, good words for the military and the police. Whoever is there, sila yung utility. Sila yung matawagan mo, sabihin mo, sige, pumunta na kayo doon. Right now. Police and military, and they have the number. Kung lang doon sa Davao, I call yung mga nagtitraining sa police academy. So they are the utility. They fight, and sometimes they die. Then yung mga diggings sa Cebu, they are the ones who can be ordered to do the massive task of digging on a 24-hour basis. Kaya ang ano ko lang kasi yung nakikita ko sino nang doon, yung mga sundalo. Well, they are the only ones who can say no. And they are the ones who can say, we cannot climb that mountain. What do you mean? You cannot climb that mountain. You climb that mountain. Yung mga ganon, sila yon. So, if you can take care of your police and military guys there, kindly do some. Kasi yun talaga ang utility boy ng gobyerno. They deal in all kinds of sorts.
Mr. President, can we activate yung mga engineering brigades? Because we have one in Echage, I think. Kung pwede natin mapalakas kasi parang kulang yung equipment nila. Tsaka lagi ko pinaglalaban sa Congress yung budget nung kung makagawa tayo ng engineering command para at least sa disasters, yun ang makatulong talaga sa amin, yung mga engineering brigades ng Army.
They have the equipment, sir?
Mukhang kulang yata yung equipment nila tsaka wala pa yatang engineering command. I think we have only 3 engineering brigades sa buong Pilipinas, Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, Rod. The workability, if there's such a word, the lifespan of an equipment, heavy equipment, depends so much on the maintenance. Yan lang. I'm not offending anyone. But sa gobyerno, nanibid sa pag nawalaan ng karburador yan, iwanan yan. So, nakaupo na lang yan doong makina. Hindi na. And even in the police, walang walang maintenance appropriation. Pag nasira yan, ibigay nga sa iyo bago. Pero pag may nasira niyan, especially those donated na wala na yan. If they are out, if something is wrong with the engine or carburetor, it's knocked out. So, kung mag-investment tayo ng heavy equipment, it's going to be DPWH and the military, yung engineering battalions nila. And you can be sure that the maintenance is present and it would last longer. Yung sa iba, itong mga agencies, what I have really noticed, I'm sorry to say this to you bluntly, pag nasira yung isang gulong dyan tapos mag-appropriate pa, wala na. Yung ambulansya, wala na rin. Simply because there is no effort for maintenance and the money that will be needed to do it. Kaya karamihan ng mga motor vehicles, mga naiiwan lang dyan. Except for DPWH, mayroon man silang mga, I think in Davao, you have a good garage there. Purang iba ibigay ng mga donated by United Nations ibigay. Sabi ko hanggang dyan lang yan. Donated po to the agriculture. Pag nasira yan, tapos na ang laro. So it's really a wastage. A lot of money has been wasted on because of no maintenance. There might be some effort there to look closely. Ako gusto ko yung engineering because nami-maintain nila yung mechanized, papareho na yung mga mekaniko nila. But if you want a group that can respond immediately, ang sinabi mo, it is the engineering battalions of the armed forces of the Philippines. Dito sa civilian has fallen short of the, how would I put it, the vigilance to really take care of the property. Usually yan, pag nasira, pati gulong, pero ang gulong naman na bago yan. Hindi pa kailangan ng bago, mag-requisition na tapos ipagbili. That's the style of Yan dito, nahihinayang kasi ako. United Nations donated, hanggang ganun. And then, a few months later, makikita ko, from my experience, working for government, ganun. So, pagdating ng panahon, wala tayong sa limited resource also for the DILG, yung sa fire. There has to be a maintenance there. There has to be enough money to maintain yung bakit tagadabaw man kayo, nakita niyong 911, it's well maintained, it's really funded every year. Kaya speak and span, tapos bago talaga, parang bago. And there's a 911, at any given time we have about 25 there, parang bumbero, doing nothing except waiting for something that would put into action the very thing that they are trained for. So, ganun na. Kung wala nang iba, sino pa ba yung... Well, I think somebody should call the attention of money. Sa sino ang dito, taga-agriculture? You might want to make a report and ask money to come in. Kasi pati yung fish cages doon sa dagat, kanya yun eh. It's part of the agricultural tract. Kanya yun. Pati isda. So, sige man sa yabang na marami siyang pera, now is the time for him to spend all of that.
Yes, sir.
You can make a report or ask him that I am asking you to tell him that there's a problem which they have to attend to dito sa dinaanan ng bagyo. Bigyan mas money. But hindi ko naman I was thinking that I would be the only one coming here. I was not expecting all of you guys to be here. Pero nandito na tayo, just might as well, good as any other time, to remind him of yung problema dito. We have the funds for that. Every department is provided the money. So it's the only thing to do now is just really to work on it tomorrow siguro para matulong. But ang road, maraming putol. Mark, kaming putol. You have flown there in the area. How many days do you think you can repair the road network there? Good enough. Okay. Totally. Yeah, General Halad.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. After this meeting, sir, to really organize our response to Natunin, which we saw as isolated from both sides, I would propose a meeting among different agencies here, preferably below secretary level, because we might have to involve Region 2 agencies because they are nearer to Natunin. And actually in the NDRMC, our lead for when it comes to response is DSWD. So we'd like to request the Secretary of DSWD to join us in this meeting after this meeting, sir. And that is to really facilitate the response towards our response to in Natunin, sir.
You just talk to Rolly, usap na lang kayo. okay lang. Mag-usap doon kayo na, puro kayo general, game of the general, sa inyo na lang yan.
So we'd like to have representations from the other agencies like DPWH, DOH, of course OCD, DSWD, and of course from the AFP, TOG and TOG2 and NOLCOM.
Pwede ko depende sa'yo.
Yes, sir.
Can I make a statement about the ising pinakaan? Para itong police dito.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a lousy...
Yes, sir. I relieve already the superintendent of PNP. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, there was this development, itong so something to do with the police. So all the police that are listening now might want also to be conscious of the fact that the police there is to maintain, well, protect the commonality of our duty. Armed forces, the uniformed policemen, is to protect and preserve the nation and to protect the people. That's about it. Ito ngayon, I was reading a report kasi sa aking office about that incident of the police na, and I'm warning you, I will never tolerate that kind. Na yung hazing at pinakain nila yung ari nila doon sa they will be dismissed. I will dismiss them. I have no place for people. You know, you give me a soldier from the PMA or from the PNPA. Nandoon tapos you rob them of his dignity. You dehumanize him. And he goes out feeling tapos maging official yan, maging general. Tapos gawain mo ng gano'n, pakainin mo ng... ako dumaan ako ng hazing. I endured pain. I was hospitalized. But kaming mga yung mga elders, we really wrote them a formal letter signed by Justice Acosta. So, mga brad ko yan classmate ko, Justice Acosta, Timothy. Yan. We specifically place it bluntly there that yung ginawa sa amin, okay lang yun. Tapos na yun Yung hampas, bugbog. But itong klaseng hazing na pakainin mo yung tao, puro kayo lalaki. He will go out of that academy almost robbed of his humanity. And you always remember that. Ako kasi, hindi naman ako nagyayabang. I'm just trying to tell you that I really do not like this kind of shit. Sa hazing, yung panahon namin, sa Prat, may taga-Davao, dalawa kami. So, gusto nila na maghalikan kami ang pinaka, noon si Rosana Roses, pati si Marquez, yung mga bombastar. Sabi niya, sige, maghalikan kayo. Sabi ko, Master, masusuka ako. Sabi ko, I cannot do it. Masusuka ako. Sabi niya, quit. Sabi ko, hindi ako mag-quit. Basta ayaw ko yan. Maghanap kayo ng iba. Gusto niyo, patayin na lang niya ako, okay lang. Sabi nila plus 300 na palo. Sabi ko, good. So I was hospitalized after that. Yung mga ganon, Tapos sa lalaki, ihian mo yung bunganga. I don't need that kind of policeman. Not for me during my time, in my generation, for the next generation of Filipino. You do not train a soldier or a policeman who goes out of the academy with a trauma. It's a deep psychological insult yan and it stays in the head. And kayo, maligayahan ka na po, makita mo yung tao na anong ginawa mo. And that kind of thing is really taboo. Hindi yan gawain ng lalaki. So, whatever decision, pagkadating yan sa akin, it is actually dismissal na. I don't need that kind of shit. Ayaw ko yung mga sundalo ko po, pati police ko na dehumanize. You can just imagine when they go out, what would be the paradigm of the guy? So utak niya. He will take it against the others. Because it's a trauma that stays, nawala yung dignity ang tao. So please, yung gustong pumasok o nandyan na, do not ever do that kasi mag-aaway lang tayo. Talaga, for me, pag dumating dyan sa lamesa ko yan, it is dismissal, period. So, yan lang ang maiwan ko rin because we are trying to Karandang, you better go to, where are you from, sir?
From Lipa City, Batangas po, sir.
You have to go home? Ngayon?
Sir, I have to finish our tasking first that problem, sir.
Have you visited already the cemetery?
Not yet, sir.
Ay, kaya nga hinahabol ka ng wakwak ng sinong namatay. Umuwi ka muna, punta doon sa cemetery, then just go back. We all have our obligations to the dead. It's practically our part of the culture, but more than that, it's something that is very important for us to commune with our ancestors. So, ganon. I'd like to thank you for being here. I did not expect a kind of briefing na ganito karami, but kayo na lang, I have made the guidelines. Anyway, the cabinet members are here except for one important guy, si Pinyol. Marami kasing patay doon sa Cotabato. Ilang patay na pasyalan niya doon. War footing yan palagi ang Cotabato. But it might interest you to know, guys, that most of our soldiers are really Ilonggos, pati Ilocanos. It is the warrior the tribes of our country. Karamihan dyan, Ilocano, Ilonggo. Not the Ilonggo of Panay. Wala yun. It's the Ilonggo ng Cotabato, pati Ilocano ng... The guy beside me is an Ilocano from Pikit. Sana ito sa Bakbakan. So, happy All Saints. Bakit naman bagay itong tratado talaga itong mga Katoliko ang puta? Bakit may All Souls Day tapos may All Saints Day? Gusto, hindi natin alaman yung mga santo ng sino yung mga gago na yun, mga lasinggo. Dito na lang kayo. I'll give you isang patron para hindi na kayo magpasyal. Get hold of a picture of mine. Yan lang ilagay niya sa altar. Santo Rodrigo. Thank you.
That concludes our station briefing. Thank you very much. At maraming salamat po muli sa ating mahal na Pangulo, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, at maligayang pagbabalik po sa probinsya ng Isabela. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat.